Day 4, everybody, of our 30 days to a better backswing challenge. Hopefully you've been following along the first 3 days. You're starting to feel a little bit better regarding the movement of your T-spine day 1, day 2. Yesterday we focused a bit more on the right hip. I say that's one of my favorite exercises. You're starting to understand and sense how we should be loading into the right glute into the backswing, a very key part of the backswing. Today, Jonathan Moore from the Grace Institute is going to take us through the movement of the left hip. Very important, because we might be able to move ourselves into the right hip the way we want, but if the left hip is junked up as Jonathan calls it, blocked from our daily lives, that can act as an anchor. That can stop us moving into the right glute the way we want to. We're lucky, Jonathan, maybe you're starting to pick up. Jonathan is not just a fitness expert. He was an extremely high-level player. He played Walker Cup, he played professional events. So we're lucky to have us with him. Even just seeing him moving the club, we know he's a player. So he's got that combination of understanding the body, but also having played the game to a very high level himself. So let's take a look what he's got to tell us today regarding the movement of the left hip.
You know, we talked about last video about this backside trail hip right here and how a strategy to really get the flexibility and the mobility there so that you can make a really good, powerful hip turn in the backswing, okay? This back hip really can only do its job if this front hip, okay, the lead hip right here, all right, can allow it to. So trail hip only works as well as the lead hip and vice versa, okay? The lead hip oftentimes only works as well as the trail hip, but I really think there's a lot that's missed. We don't really do a lot to help stretch out this part of our body. It's the one where if you're gunked up in front of a computer a lot and you're sitting a lot, this part of our hip, the ability to kind of get through it starts to go away. So we used this strategy last time where we kind of did this lunge and we held the position. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do a different lunge, okay? We're going to now take our right foot and we're going to open on up. So it's like it's a windshield wiper and it's just going to kind of point on behind you right there, okay? So you're taking it and you're opening on up. You're kind of shifting your weight into that leg a little bit at the same time, okay? So if you're looking at me from here, you can see kind of what that looks like. That toe is opening on up right there, okay? So now you're in golf posture, all right? Go ahead and take that club back. Go ahead and get right there into that lunge position. Hold it, okay? And from here now, again, if this is my belly button's pointing this way, I'm gonna move my hips forward and backwards in that direction. And it's the forward position now where we're moving forward, that motion that we're after, okay? You're gonna feel as you move forward there that really gets kind of some stretch going through that front part of our hip there, okay? And then from that forward position, now again, perpendicular to where this direction was there, is now we're going side to side. And you're really trying to get further that way into your hip. That's gonna just create even more stretch and lengthening through that front side of that hip there, okay? And then the last thing you're gonna do is a little squat, but then try to extend and stand up. So feel like someone's got their hands around your waist there and they're helping you lift up, okay? That lifting up, ooh, that's the last one that really gets that full mobilization right there through that trail hip, okay? So you're gonna use that sequencing, okay? Show it real quick right there, you get there, all right? Forward and backwards, and it's really the forward motion of that hip. You can see that's exactly the knee motion that I'm looking to have happen in my swing. Then I'm going side to side, and then I'm trying to extend up, extending up. That's really gonna help you with that lead hip, all right? And if the lead hip doesn't do its job, well then you can't get the good turn into that trail hip. So it's a really important exercise. Between these first 4 now, you've got some great strategies to help your upper part of your spine, both hips, and you're gonna really be seeing some benefits as you start applying this over the next few days, okay? These 4 exercises alone are going to do wonders for your body's ability to make a great backswing. So
another great exercise from Jonathan, and hopefully you can see the connection to yesterday when we talked about loading into the right glute at the top of the backswing, something we really want all of our players to be able to do. If you're a coach, you want to be trying to help your players achieve this. If you're a player, this can be the key part which can help you become a better ball striker. As Jonathan said, we need to make sure we've got no blockage in our left hip stopping us making that movement. Maybe you picked up the movements in the left hip. What we require at the left hip joint is opposite to what we need in the right hip joint. Right hip we were internally rotating, we have a little lateral flexion to the right, and we're flexing our hips. You can see when Jonathan took you through this exercise, that's actually an external rotation of the hip. The lateral movement is the opposite what we require out of the joint, and we need a little bit of extension out of the hip so that we have no blockages stopping us moving into the right hip the way we want. Some of the things you might look out for in your swing, like we talked about yesterday, you're somebody whose pelvis moves closer to the target. Well, when you're doing this exercise, tune yourself into that lateral movement of the hips. Can you do that? Are you tight in that area? Do you sway too much? Your hips are further away from the target at the top of the backswing. So again, that rotational element is going to be very important to stop you swaying. Being able to stabilize that movement, very important. And then, are you somebody whose pelvis gets closer to the target in the backswing? Again, we really need to be moving on all three planes to be able to load our hips backwards the way we want. The rotation, that little bit of lateral flexion, that little bit of extension out of the hip. It's just something we don't normally, these movements are not something we don't do in our daily lives when we're sitting watching TV or driving the car or at the office. So it's something we need to train. If you're not somebody who's hitting a lot of golf balls, this is something we need to train our body to do. These are great exercises to improve your mobility, to give you the feel for the golf swing, but they're also a test. When you're going through these exercises, tune yourself into what you're feeling in your body. I'm tight in my hips, so when I'm doing this exercise, I find it difficult to make the tee. I can see my right foot starting to twist. That's giving me an indication I've got some blockage and tightness in my right hip. So all of these exercises you're going to be doing, tune yourself in. It's giving you some awareness of where your strengths and weaknesses in your body, and then you can maybe start to focus in on the exercises which are important for you. See you tomorrow, day 5 tomorrow. Hope you tune in for more.